Jephtha has been bid to come and lead his people in war. When he has a moment of doubt, he's visited by an angel, and he makes a vow before God that he should sacrifice the first living person he sees after that victory. Well, that living person turns out to be his daughter.
For Jephtha, it's hell on earth. It's the moment of realisation that this is the person that welcomed him back, and this is the person he'll have to execute.
And so you can imagine that the tensions run enormously high between all of us, in fact, all family members and prospective family members.
And in this case, it's even worse. The possibility of death has been caused by something you have said, half-thinking, a half-thought promise. And this is a terrible tragedy. I would imagine it's something it's impossible for somebody to live with.
The whole thing of having a daughter in the opera and having my own daughters, it's very deep. It's a wonderful piece.
Rather than go against it, she offers herself as a willing sacrifice because she understands the strength of her father's faith and how important it is to him.
Yes, being a father is extremely helpful in terms of the role. I have two children, one daughter's 2 years old, not 17, and I have a new son who's only 3 weeks old. It's very easy to tap into that emotion, and it does make it very difficult to play the role, especially the sort of most focused bits regarding the execution. The fact it has to happen. There's no choice. I only need to sort of think about it for a second for it to send me into pieces to the idea of it in reality. So it, as long as I can just sort of knock on the door of that feeling.
We've done a lot of soul searching in this, and we've actually stayed in the rehearsal room, absolutely dumbstruck, because it's so shocking. It's such a personal journey for everybody, every character.
Katie Mitchell is one of the most important directors of our time. She's an associate director of the National Theatre and now a major figure in Europe. This production is designed by Katie Mitchell's long-term design collaborator, Vicky Mortimer. It's a very beautiful piece of work. I mentioned that this is set in the Old Testament. Well, we're not going to stage the Old Testament biblical world with people in togas and beards or whatever.
Although it's a story from the Bible, it's obviously a very old story. It's actually Katie set it in the kind of post-war era. Bringing it to a time that's more relevant as opposed to today, it just means that you can relate to it.
One of the stars of this show is actually the designer of the show, Vicky, who put together all the costumes and the sort of visual world of it with Katie Mitchell. And one of the beautiful things is that the costumes across the board are absolutely stunning.
With Katie Mitchell, you have a producer who comes from the stage, and therefore you work a lot of the detail and the psychological and the small movements in a way that you would in a play. So you get that added layer.
He's a fantastic specialist. He's wonderful. He understands early music inside and out, and as such he has an enormous energy and breadth of understanding of this score to offer to the orchestra.
This is a very special piece for Handel. It's the last original piece he wrote in his life. I do things on early instruments in a period way that represents the way they did it in the 18th century, not just for historical reasons, but because I think it makes the sound more vivid, there's more drama, more energy, and many more contrasts to be had when you do it that way.
The chorus are great. They make an awesome sound. I've stood in front of a lot of choruses. This chorus really make your ears ring, and they have they're famous. They're a very famous part of this company, and deservedly so.
In his attempt to kill her softly, I suppose, he sings the most beautiful aria, Waft Her Angels, which is well known from the piece. And in this production, it's incredibly moving because it is an attempt to comfort at the same time as preparing to kill her.
Handel's score is so direct. The musical language speaks without any layer of sort of prescriptive knowledge.
What I would hope is that people are deeply moved by a story that will go straight to your heart.
It's amazingly powerful. Amazingly powerful. It's very truthful.
She can sing fantastically, but she keeps this girlish vulnerability in the sound and in her movements, and it's really, there have been tears just watching her in rehearsals.
A lot of people came to see it, people who hadn't actually been to see an opera before, and the one thing they all said was that they actually didn't notice that people were singing. The story was so powerful and so shocking, I guess. They got drawn into it very quickly.
We don't generally sacrifice our children. We do worry about their death all the time.
This production actually puts it there in front of you. This is very rare.
Above your